Hi everyone and welcome to French Watch Collector. Today on the bench we have a beautiful watch, actually which is from one of the subscribers from the channel, one from the Netherlands. Look at this beautiful Jaeger-LeCoultre, this triple date with Moonphase. And you will see will be a lot of work on it. Actually the watch is not running right now. You see I try to turn the crown, nothing is moving. We see that the watch is very dirty. But we see will be more issue inside, and we see when we open the watch. I try to, to make the watch work again, but the crown, even the crown is fully jammed. Just gonna check the quick side date. You see we have pushers on the side. You see for the months, that's working. For the date, looks like it's working as well. Just gonna check the last one, which is from the Moonphase. And you see there, when I'm turning the calendar, if I go to 1, the first day of the month, we see the month jumping as well, which is a nice complication because it's not on all the triple dates that you will see that. And look at the Moonphase, nothing is moving at all. Okay, we have an issue with this pusher as well. We see what we need to do on this watch. Just gonna remove first the bracelet. We see the number there, the 141 119.5, which is like the reference number, and underneath it's a serial number. And you can see online a lot of history on this watch, and I will tell you a bit more a bit later on this watch and the caliber inside, because you will see it's Jaeger-LeCoultre. Jaeger-LeCoultre is wonderful house, a wonderful brand, and they make wonderful caliber, and you will see inside. This is a case. We have a very nice caliber inside this watch. So this is a case back. We have 4 screws on this case back there. Just gonna unscrew that, and we'll be able to open the watch. Very gently, we're gonna lift. You see there. Okay. Oof. That's very dirty inside. Wow, look at the amount of dirt inside this watch. We'll see a bit more. You see the Jaeger-LeCoultre in a case back as well, which is written, obviously, Switzerland. And let's check that. You see it's an automatic watch, obviously, with this big rotor. And wow, look on the case. Inside the watch. Wow, that's very dirty. That's for sure. That's why the pusher is not working. Look at the amount of dirt that there is on this watch here. See a tiny bit of rust there. But you will see there is even more. And when when the automatic winding is turning, I feel a noise, a strange noise, like scratching the surface there. And you will see here, there is a screw which is holding the caliber inside the case. Look at it, like it's disintegrated with rust inside, Wow, look at this. Okay, and obviously we have a buildup of rust on top of it, and that's why it's scratching again the rotor, okay, but I'm not sure how we're gonna remove this because it looks like the screw is fully gone. And you see when now I managed to have the crown out in a second position. And let's check if we have a date jump there. No, not at midnight. Okay, and we see the date just moved around 45 minutes past midnight, which is, the setting is not right on this watch. We're gonna do obviously a full service on this watch. We're gonna disassemble this beautiful caliber. We see some nice surprises inside. Obviously, it's a complicated watch, automatic with triple date, moonphase. Sorry. It's a complicated watch. Beautiful as well. You see the finishing on top. Obviously, it's Jaeger-LeCoultre, so you will have some nice finishing on the caliber. And I will use a lot of Rodico, you see, to grab as much dirt as I can before obviously we'll see a bit later, we'll watch everything. Okay, this is the first screw you see that I managed to remove, but the second one, look at the state of the second one. Wow. Yeah, the screw head is not there anymore. I cannot unscrew it, so you will see I will try to, because I need to remove this part of the watch, because or else I cannot remove the caliber out of the case. So you see with a broken oiler there, I just managed to remove, like the rest of rust that there is on there is like fully disintegrated. So I managed to break it. I will just remove like the biggest piece of rust there, and actually it was almost nothing there. Obviously we have a piece of the screw which is still there inside, that we will remove later on, but now I should be able to remove the caliber out of the case. Just remove, you see there first, the winding stem. Just gonna remove, you see the balance assembly, because actually to remove the caliber out of the case, it was very, very difficult. So just to make sure I don't damage the balance assembly, I'm just gonna remove it straight away. You see there, even if it's still in a watch. I'm just gonna use my press there, just to press out, you see. It's a different kind of build you see there on a case, but just gonna push it out with this tool, because actually by hand I could not move it, and you will see like the amount of rust and dirt that there is around there inside the case, and that's why actually I was not able to move it out. Just to tell you as well that I'm working with my distributor for my tool, which is Maison Venus. I will just put a link down below in the description if you want to go to their website and see some tools. It's a good website, very nice people, and they will be very happy. We see it's in France, so they can send abroad as well if it's required. They will be very happy to work with you. So if you want to go there, I will put a link down below in the description, and they will work with you very, very nicely. Okay, so you see I managed to remove the caliber and the dial. You see we have a crystal on top of it there with a gold ring you see all around. I'm just gonna lift and you see we'll have another rubber there. But look at the amount of rust and corrosion, like oxidation that there is all around. That's why I could not remove this caliber out of the case. Perfect. And you see we have this ring around that was inside the case. Okay, so I managed to remove all the parts from the case. Now we have the caliber with obviously the dial, still the dial and the hands. We're gonna remove the hands first. Just gonna use, you see my pair of lever there just to lift up the hands very gently. Perfect. I'm gonna protect that. You see there the hand first in this box there, where we have a kind of plastic sandwich in between there, so that the hands will not move inside this box. Just gonna unscrew, you see there's a die fit screw, just to release the dial, and just gonna put them, you see, in this little box there. Beautiful dial as well, and you will see underneath we have 3 sub dial if you want for the months. This is the first one, the month. We have the day there of the week, obviously in English. And we have the Moonphase, beautiful sub dial there on the Moonphase with this gold on top of it for the 2 moon, obviously, and the stars. Wonderful. Like, obviously, like I said at the beginning, it's Jaeger-LeCoultre. They make great quality, obviously, of case, dial, hands. Like, yeah, it's wow, it's very, very nice quality on this from this brand, and you see it there on this part already. And inside now, what we have the complication you see there with a lot of wheels, springs. We have all the complication for the Triple Date there and the Moonphase. So we're gonna disassemble that, and I will explain you a bit more later on when we're gonna reassemble these parts. But obviously it's not that complicated, but yeah, you see it's a lot of parts inside, a lot of spring. It's a bit like a chronograph. I don't know if you saw some of the video when I work on a chronograph. You will have a lot of spring inside a chronograph caliber mechanism. And yeah, it's the same here. We have a lot of springs, like because obviously you will have these pushers, we use these pushers, and obviously the date, the months, and the Moonphase will have to jump, obviously, with the time. And to do these jumps, obviously, you need to have all these springs. And as well, on a quickside date and quickside months and quickside Moonphase, you need to have as well a lot of springs to be able to activate, if you want, this tiny pusher there to have a quickside date or quickside change if you want there, because we will have not only the date, but yeah, that's a lot of spring inside this caliber. And as well in this watch, a lot of dirt. You see on this side of the caliber, actually, I was very surprised that the dial was not too damaged. We see a bit, there was a couple of spots there where it was cracked. But yeah, it's lacquered on top. It's very well protected on this dial. So yeah, we're very lucky because we see some rust. So if there was some rust, it was some humidity, some water or humidity inside the watch. And yeah, we need to clean that. We need to remove as much as possible the rust, clean all the, and that's why we need to disassemble everything during the service. Yeah, just removing. You see one of the last wheel there. You see this big wheel. Cannot remove that. I'm just gonna use some Rodico to grab it straight up, and you see the rust underneath. We have this big wheel there is to drive all the mechanism. Perfect. And we have our wheel there. Okay, so you will see on this caliber, we'll have a kind of a main plate for the Triple Date and Moonwatch. And when you remove this plate, which I'm removing right now, you see with the few screws there on top of it to keep it in position. We'll have underneath a standard, let's say, caliber that will just give time. So yeah, this is the way this caliber was built. I will tell you a bit later, but actually this is a standard caliber, automatic. Obviously, this one automatic caliber with an extra complication that come on top with the Triple Date and Moonphase on this one. And you see now I'm just removing the Triple Date Moonphase plate there. There we go. And look underneath, even like this tiny spot there of dirt and rust, like they are everywhere in his watch. I guess it's the parts that we just you remember at the beginning, like the one I could not take out the caliber that was fully rusted. I guess it's one with the rotor turning on top of it and let's say breaking the parts a bit. That's why we have all this dust of rust everywhere in his watch. And obviously we saw there are other spots where you have a tiny bit of rust, but it was the bigger amount of rust on his watch was at this point there. So yeah, that's why we see it's very dirty. And you see it on the side there as well. We see a lot of rust on this side of the watch. And now we're gonna disassemble the rest of the caliber. Like this is the part from the automatic winding you see there. Look at again, and I guess yeah, with this amount of dirt and dust inside, like that's why the caliber could not run. Obviously, we see if there is nothing broken inside. But yeah, it was very, very bad. And we see after cleaning if we can get it to a proper level, but yeah. What we need to remove first is all this dirt, the rust, and after we see if we can have this caliber working again. Okay, I'm just removing this bridge there. You see a lot of wheels underneath. Wow, and very dirty again. But yeah, we have all the wheels for the train of wheel, but we have as well some wheels for the automatic winding. So yeah, that's a lot of parts underneath this caliber and underneath this bridge. So yeah, we see. Just removing, you see, on each wheel. Just put them a bit of on radical just to remove all the dirt there. The barrel that will disassemble later, and the last wheel there. Okay, we have still a click here from the automatic winding. And you see on my bench start to be quite a lot of parts on top of my bench. I keep them, you see, by family, by group on the bench. Just remove, you see, the big amount I can from all this dirt there. And you see that the killer's work on his watch, a lot of parts. You see that's a different type of design. A lot of the parts are on the balance side, not on the dial side, which is on most caliber you will have a lot of. You see, for example, there's a setting lever spring, the setting lever, all of that, the yoke. It's on the balance side, which is again different type of design, which is always interesting to work on this watch and see, depending on the brand, depending on the year, they have different design, so different idea when they build this or did the design of these calibers. It's very interesting to work on different things and not always on the same watch, on the same caliber. And that's why working on vintage watch is wonderful. And you see now we have the rest of the parts from the keyless work you see there, and all the parts, all the wheels, the minute wheel there. All you see is on the dial side. Just gonna remove, you see the cannon pinion. Perfect. Okay, so I will just do a first, let's say, manual clean. We'll see, we'll do another one a bit later. And first we're gonna open the bar assembly there. Let's check what's inside the barrel, obviously. Oh, actually it's not that bad inside the barrel. Compared to the rest of the watch that was very dirty and with a lot of rust and everything. Actually inside there is it stayed pretty clean, inside the mainspring, so that's a good news. Just gonna remove the mainspring there to unwind and to obviously to clean everything again. Just want to make sure. Obviously, we want to remove all the old rust and all the dirt and all like the old oil and grease as well that were used on this watch there. I'm gonna clean all of that, and that's why we want to disassemble everything. But first, you see there, just gonna do first, let's say, first clean, easy one by hand. Just gonna remove, let's say, the big amount of dirt, rust, and like I said as well, the oil and grease. Just gonna brush them, you see, one by one on both sides, just to remove, like I said, the biggest amount of dirt on his parts. And after we do a proper cleaning inside the machine, but the biggest part will be already gone So will be the final cleaning, let's say, with my machine. Obviously, when it's clean, I'm gonna dry the parts tiny bit before we put them later on inside the cleaning baskets. You see already the parts start to be a bit cleaner already. And there is still a couple of parts you see underneath a bridge here where we have the ball, a couple of wheels, crown wheel that we will remove again for everything to be clean perfectly inside the machine. Just gonna put the balance assembly. Again, safe place to keep it during cleaning because don't want to damage the hairspring, which is this very thin spring on the balance assembly there. And after that, all the parts, I'll put them one by one inside these baskets. And that will be the proper cleaning. We already did a first cleaning on this watch, like I said, a manual one. And now we do the proper cleaning inside my cleaning machine. So we put all the parts you see there inside the different divider inside these baskets. And all of that will go inside the cleaning machine. While I will clean the part inside the machine, just to tell you as well that I have a Patreon page. So if you want to go to my Patreon, you can click down below in the description of the video. You will find a Patreon page. I would like to thank my existing patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting me, supporting my channel. Thanks a lot. That means a lot for me because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to put this video together for you guys on YouTube. So if you want to go to my Patreon, you can subscribe to one of the plans. That will help a lot my channel. As well, you can see the video for free on free of commercial on my Patreon. And as well, you can get, for example, some present like a stickers when you are a member on Patreon. So thank you so much, guys. As well, you did not subscribe to my channel on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. Click on a thumbs up as well to promote this video out there, and that will help to promote the passion from the channel for the watchmaker and the watchmaking lover which is out there. So thanks in advance if you want to subscribe and click on a thumbs up as well. So now we just did the ultrasonic cleaning you see there for all the parts for the case, because here we clean all the parts from the caliber inside the machine. Now we have the case that will be fully clean. And we can start the reassembly there. Obviously, that will be a very important moment because, yeah, it was a non-running watch. And, yeah, this time we want to have a running watch. So we see at the end of this reassembly if the watch is working and as well if it's working perfectly. But first, you see there, I'm just going to put a brand new mainspring on this watch because we saw this watch, I don't know, with the state of the watch. We saw with the owner of this watch saying that, yeah, we just put a brand new one so that we know we start again on a brand new base, let's say, with the mainspring. We'll have no issue with the mainspring, and we'll have a full amount of power as well with a brand new mainspring inside the watch. Okay, now we're gonna close. You see there the barrel assembly. Just gonna use my tool there just to press it in position. Just gonna oil, and you see me putting a lot of oil both sides there of the ball. We're gonna do an APLM treatment again on the most of the parts, which what I do every time on the juice from the balance assembly, on a pallet fork and an escape wheel there. Again, like the APLM is to make sure the treatment, the oil that we're going to put, the treatment will keep the oil in position. It will not spread on the surface that the oil or the grease that we're going to put. But first, after put them like maybe 15-20 seconds in APLM, just going to dry them. Just going to remove as well the APLM from the pivot point of the escape wheel and the pallet fork. That's what I'm doing right now. And after that, we'll be able to oil the jewels there of the balance assembly. And what I'm doing on this watch, I'm gonna do it manually. You see there with my oiler. Just put a tiny drop of oil. That was not enough there. Just put a bit more right in the center of the jewel there. And after that, we just put the chaton back on top of this drop of oil there. Perfect. Just gonna do the same thing. Obviously, we have both sides on a balance. Just put the same amount of oil there. And we're just gonna put the chaton back on top there. Okay. Just gonna put now the jewels that we just oiled right on top, you see there, of the balance staff, which is a pivot point of the balance assembly there. Just gonna put it, that's why we put some oil, just to make sure the pivot point is fully lubricated, no friction, like the friction is reduced to a minimum. Just gonna put the same on the other side as well. Perfect. And you will see the parts, actually the parts are different. You see there, this part, obviously, I put it in a solution, in a fluid, just to remove the rust, because we want to remove as much rust. And you remember it was a broken screw as well inside the main plate there. So that's why you see the coating on top there, on which is called rhodium, the rhodium finish on the main plate there. On some of the spot it's a bit gone. That's why we see this kind of sand color on top of it, because we see the base metal of the main plate there. It's a different color, but like the biggest amount, like the biggest goal is to remove the rust, because you don't want to have any rust, or as less as possible, which is still left inside the watch. So that's why we remove everything we could, you see there, on the main plate. Just gonna reassemble, you see, first some parts of the keyless work. Remember, the keyless work was different on this watch. So we have, you see, different wheels there on the dive side, and the rest of the parts will be on the balance side, which is again very different on the design of this caliber, which is actually, I did not say, it's a caliber 901, so which is a very nice caliber, very thin caliber, which I think they didn't produce that much of these watches, because even online, if you see the reference numbers, is Triple Date with Moonphase, which, like I said, is a complicated watch. You don't see that many. It's a beautiful one, obviously from Jaeger-LeCoultre, but you don't see that many of this type of watch online. Wonderful caliber, and like I said, very thin, beautiful as well. It's a great caliber and a great watch. I'm gonna carry on, like I said, with the reassembly of this watch, this 901 caliber. So just to tell about this caliber, actually, like I said, the first Jaeger-LeCoultre with this Triple Date Moonphase, and more the Triple Date, came out in 1930. So you imagine in 1930, like with the caliber 410 or 412, which was this era, it was the first triple calendar from Jaeger-LeCoultre. So that's quite a long time ago, almost 100 years ago. It's crazy. And this caliber, like I said, this watch is from the 80s. So obviously much later than the first caliber, the Triple Date caliber. But it was in the 80s. Obviously, after the quartz crisis, and this is actually GLC try to do some very thin calibers, and actually the base caliber from this wire is 889 caliber, automatic caliber, ultra thin, 3.25 millimeter at the time. That was very thin, and obviously it was to do something different. Obviously the quartz watches was very thin, so to do a mechanical watch very thin again, obviously Jaeger had to create a very ultra thin automatic caliber. So like I said, this one was 889, and like I said, on top of that they use this base caliber and they build, that's what we are building right now, this base caliber, and what they put on top, they put the Triple Date and Moonphase complication on top of it that created the 901. That's the caliber that we are working right now, which is still a very thin caliber, 4.5 millimeters. So this caliber, the complication added 1.25 millimeter, but it's still a very thin caliber for a Triple Date automatic with Moonphase. And like I said, this caliber was used in 80s, beginning of 90s. But yeah, they didn't make a lot of calibers from these watches, and this type of caliber, like this type of watch that we saw at the beginning as well, there is not that many watches online, and again, it's a great caliber from Jaeger-LeCoultre, beautiful as well, and very very thin. So yeah. So you see there now on a caliber, just reassembling the rest of the keyless work. And actually on this side, you see, I didn't know on which part I need to start first, second, third, because it's different type of design, like I said, on this watch. And you will see me putting some parts, removing some, putting a new one. So you see there we have the yoke spring there, and the spring as well. I would keep in position the setting lever. Just put everything and keep it in position with a screw there. Okay, so you see, like I just remove. You see, like everything is moving. I just remove. You see there the setting lever spring. I put a bit too much grease as well on this part of the caliber, but I will remove it after a bit with Rodico. Just put the setting lever spring again. Just put it in position, and now we should have the keyless work, which is fully assembled. Yeah, and everything is working the way it should there. So that's perfect. We can carry on the rest. Putting first, you see this tiny spring there. That is, you will see for the click there from the automatic winding. Just put it in position, and obviously we will build everything which is around there, which is starting by, you remember it was a couple of wheels, and actually with the crown wheel there, couple of wheels underneath that we will oil, and remember it was very dirty underneath there, and you see now it's perfectly clean. You see we have 3 lines there on a screw, and you know what that means? It means it's a reverse threaded screw there, so we have to screw it or unscrew it the different direction what you would do normally on a screw. Okay, you see there, I'm just gonna put the barrel assembly. I'm gonna start to build the train of wheel, but you will see, like I said, a lot of wheels. So you see all this yellow wheel there after we put a bit of all there on the jewel from the escape wheel there. All the yellow wheels are kind of gold color, is like the train of wheel, obviously, which is connected to the escape. And you will see a lot of silver wheels, and these wheels are for the automatic winding. So you see all these gold color wheels are for the train of wheel that I'm putting in position there. We'll have obviously like the parts that need to come on top there. The click, you remember with the spring, we just put in position there. And now we're gonna put, like, you see this beautiful wheel there from the automatic winding. I will put in position. So you see on each wheel I need to find the pivot point, the jewels at the bottom where I'm gonna put the pivot point there. And now we just put the bridge. And what we're gonna do the same thing on top. We're gonna align all the jewels you see there on a pivot point of each wheels. So that's always a tricky moment. Just want to make sure you don't bend anything, so you don't need to put a lot of pressure on it until everything is in position. All the pivot points are aligning the jewels. Very gently there. There we go. You see there, we just saw it drop on the jewel. And when it is, we're gonna secure it with a tiny bit of pressure on top of it, and we're gonna put the first screw there. And after the rest, obviously, the rest of the screws. Perfect. We have another bridge here with a couple of pivot points. Gonna align that as well on all the jewels. You see there, I'm tapping on it just to vibrate the wheels, to vibrate a tiny bit and try to find a position. And when it is in position, we should see everything turning together. Yeah. You see there, you need to go very, very slowly, very gently. When it is in position, you can secure it with a couple of screws there. Just gonna put the palette fork. And you see there as well, look at even on the main plate, the bridges, how shiny it is. Like you see it, like it's very bright, very shiny on top of it there. And that's what you want when you do a service, when you clean a watch. You want to have everything perfectly clean again. Just gonna put the balance assembly very slowly, put it in position. Oh yes, woo! It's starting again. That's always a very nice moment, because obviously when you have a watch which is not running at all, you don't know if, like, even if you check each single part, maybe you will miss something, a teeth which is broken on a wheel, a pivot point, something like that which is bent. But there, everything is starting, so it means the watch is running perfectly. We see after later on the timegrapher if the result is correct or no, but actually we have a running watch, which is already a good news. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna reassemble the complication. Starting with a couple of parts. You see there I use some Lubetta just to lubricate the reversing wheel there on automatic winding. Just gonna oil, you see all the pivot points for the automatic winding part there that need to go on top there. Perfect. Okay, so now we have the first part, and you see just putting a drop of oil there on the jewels. Just gonna put, you see there as a bearing that was just oil in Lubetta there. Perfect. Okay, so now we finish with the standard, let's say, caliber. Like I said, this one is a standard caliber with a complication on top of it. And now we're gonna put the plate. We're gonna build the Triple Date and Moonphase on top of it. And you see there again, we have all the parts, which is if all the rust that was removed. We'll secure the plate first with the screw there, and after we'll be able to put all the parts one by one. I will explain you as well how the Triple Date is working on his watch, Moonphase. Just put there the tiny screw here, and you will see there is still a lot of screws actually on his main plate for the spring and everything. And actually, when I disassemble the watch, I just kept the screws on the main plate so that I know that I don't mix the screws. I put the right screw at the right spot. That's a technique just to make sure you don't mix up the screws there, because each screws has a tiny different dimension on it. So yeah, you don't want to mix that. So there you see I put the hour wheel. Now I'm putting the, let's say, the calendar driving for all the calendar mechanism. Driving wheel, which is, you see, connected to the hour wheel. And you see underneath, on top of this wheel, you will have a finger, and you will see this finger will come and make the wheels, for example, for the date and the day. I mean, it's more the day and the month and the jump. Obviously, this watch, the calendar mechanism, so I mean the date mechanism, the wheels is in the center, because we saw that there was the hand for the date is right in the center, same as the minute and hour hand. Gonna put, like I said, a lot of springs. You see there, we have this spring which is arming right now, and you see this one will be for the, you see there, this is when we have the pusher on the side. You will push against these parts just to do a quick side date. And now, which is that's a date. Like I said, the date wheel is in the center, so that's the one we put right now, right in the center. Gonna put obviously this spring in position, and you see on this spring, actually you have 3 arms on this spring. You see you have this kind of bridge that will keep the date wheel in the center in position. I'm gonna align it with a tiny screw there. Perfect. Just gonna grease there a lot of the jumper for the, like this one is for the date in the center. Just gonna put, you see there, we have one wheel here. which is an intermediate wheel. You see that's connected to the date, and what is changing every day at the same time as the date. We have the day as well. So this will connect to the day wheel, and you see there, look at the calendar. Like I said, you see there you will have some fingers on it, and that's it. You see there we saw the jump of the date in the center, and I will do the same thing. It's connected to the day. We have, you see there, another piece. This is to connect for a pusher. You see there. And again, we'll have another spring to give some tension on this part for the pusher. That's how it works. Just secure it, you see there, with a screw. Again, and you see that we're gonna arm it on this part. There we go. Perfect. Now it's in position. Gonna put another, you see there, arm to do the quick save date there. We've just gonna re-put, you see that was the spring that I put with the 3 arms. Just gonna put it in position now because yeah, we need to arm. We need to put the parts, you see there, just to arm with a spring on this side. And you see there, it's doing its job. Just gonna oil and grease, you see there, the pusher that we're gonna put the disc, you see there, the months and the day later on. I'm gonna put some oil just to reduce the friction there as well on the pivot point of the disc there. And this one, gonna put the months here that will drop automatically every first of the month. Now it's in position, and you see you have this under the disc there. You have a star wheel that come on this jumper there, so that's why I need to remove. You see there, I'm just gonna remove the spring underneath until I can press it and release it on the star wheel. And look at this beautiful moon phase, yeah. Wow, look at it. It's so shiny, so nice. Again, I'm just removing the spring underneath. Perfect. And now we're just doing a turn there, and we should see that you see all the parts doing this work. And you see, you saw the intermediate wheel there. It will do the jump as well. Every first of the day, we have the quick save date you see there for the moon phase. How it works when you push it. That will do the same thing when you push it. You see there is a tiny bit, it's harder, so it's not perfectly in position. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Just gonna put now this beautiful dial. Look at it. Look at this dial. Just gonna align it. I did not do anything on his dial. Like I said, we see some cracks, but like it's in perfect condition. We're still gonna do a small polish on the index there from the hours and the dial, just to make them polish a bit more brighter. You see there the gold index is there and the logo there on top at 12 o'clock. And after that, obviously, after I perfectly clean the dial, I'm gonna put a brand new, I mean not brand new, but gonna put the hands back on this beautiful dial, and we see if everything will work. So first we're gonna start with the date you see there, which is right. It's a hand which go right in the center there. We're gonna align it to a random number, and what I want to see is months jumping. There we go. And when a month is jumping, it means the hand need to be aligned to the first day of the month, which is 1 here. So perfect. So now we just jump it and put it in position. Just gonna do the same thing on the hour hand. We're going to align it perfectly when the date is jumping at midnight. You remember at the beginning it was at 45 minutes past midnight. So now we want to have it like maybe plus or minus 3 minutes around midnight, but close to midnight. So you see there, we see the date changing. The day did not jump yet. I prefer to have the day jumping than the day. There we go. So now we need to align. Just press it in position. And we're going to do the same thing with minute hand there. We're going to align it perfectly at midnight. Yes, perfect. That's done. Okay, so we're going to put as well brand new rubbers on his watch, because we saw we had the rubber on the bottom and rubber as well on top, where we have the crystal. The case now is fully clean. I did not do a restoration on the case. That was a choice from the owner just to keep the original condition on the watch. We could have done as well polish on it or anything, but yeah, just wanted to keep the watch. And obviously there was a lot of work on his watch already. Quite a lot of amount of money to restore his watch. So yeah, that's why I wanted to keep the budget as well as low as possible. Just wanted to have the watch running. That was the goal of this watch. And you see there, I'm just gonna remove any dust on a crystal or on a dial, just to make sure it doesn't get trapped. Just put it in position. And now you see it's just a case of just push it in by hand. And it was so hard to remove this case. It was so dirty. I couldn't do it by hand. I had to use a press to take it out. So that's crazy. And now it's just, when it's clean, it just slide in very easily. Perfect. And it's still missing, you see, one bit there on a caliber. Actually, a couple of parts still missing. First, we have these clamps which are keeping the caliber inside the case. You remember the one who was fully disintegrated with rust. So we're gonna put a brand new one, and so like that we'll keep the caliber secured inside the case. But obviously we still don't know what's the result we get as well on the timegrapher, if this watch is still running perfectly or no. Obviously, first it's running, that's good news. But it's still running. That's doing a good job on timekeeping. That's another question. But first, we're gonna put this rotor back on top, automatic. Going to secure it with the 3 tiny screws there. Perfect. Now it's in position. Just gonna oil. You see there the bearing inside. Put a brand new gasket on the case back. Perfect. And now we're just gonna close the case back. You remember this one is kept in position with 4 screws. And now we're just gonna put this 4 screw in position. And like that as well, the case will be clamped in between the we saw in one side, we saw the crystal with the gasket underneath, and this side with the case back and the gasket as well. It will stay clamped with these screws and put pressure on the gasket to make sure the caliber stay waterproof. Actually, obviously, it's not a swimming watch. Yeah, it's not yeah, because we have pushers. So yes, so watch obviously will have a bit of watertight just to make sure humidity doesn't come in, but it's not a watch. If you go in the water with this watch, it will be damaged for sure because it's not made for that. Just checking the pusher there. One, yeah, we had the jump perfectly. Let's check as well if the Moonphase is working, because remember the Moonphase was not working at the beginning with the pusher. We see that we have the mount jumping very nicely. Let's check the Moonphase there. If this one is, oh yeah, look at it now, it's rotating perfectly. Very nice. Just gonna put the original bracelet I came with from the owner, just to finish it perfectly in position. Just gonna leave it for a couple of days on automatic winding, just to make sure all the oil and grease stay in position, as well that the automatic winding does this job, to make sure it works perfectly. So that's why I will just leave it for a couple of days on automatic winding, and after that we'll see the result on a timegrapher and if it need to be adjusted or no. But yeah, we'll see if everything is working. I'm just gonna demagnetize the watch first, and before I demagnetize the watch, I just want to tell you as well that I have my own website, so you can see that. I'll just put a link down below in the description, and as well a link on the top right corner if you want to go to my website. I have some watches which are for sale as well, some of the watches that I restore on this channel, and as well, like for example, like this client that sent me this watch for service. You can go there and contact me, and I will be very happy to work on your watch, like for example this beautiful Jaeger-LeCoultre that I just did. Now I'm just gonna show you what's the result on the timegrapher. You see the amplitude, wow, 280, and you will see we'll go up to 290. Very high amplitude. The bit error is perfect. The watch is just losing, I will just adjust it a tiny bit, couple of seconds per day. But the result on the timegrapher, I was shocked with the amount of rust and issue that was inside of this watch. I was very surprised with the result at the end. Very happy with the work. This is a beautiful watch. I love to work with this type of complication. I love to show you as well this beautiful caliber, for example, from Jaeger-LeCoultre with this complication inside. So I hope you like the watch. I hope you like the result at the end. Subscribe if you did not subscribe, click on a thumbs up, and I see you next time for the next video. Bye bye.